Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel where we review anything and everything. Now, today we are getting into the updated review of the Rocktol Gen R. Now, I just previously did an unboxing of this and a basic kind of review, but to be honest, once I saw a flaw in the tool, the review just pretty much was, I didn't have a lot of care after that because once again, for the third time in a row, I had a bad copy of a Rocktol tool, and that really bothered me. So this time around, I returned it. They sent me a new one. Link's gonna be in the description for you to purchase this on Amazon. Amazon, obviously, you guys know, have a great return policy, and they sent this on the way before the previous one even arrived back in their possession. And so I'm happy to finally be able to say this is a good copy, and I was gonna do an unboxing with it and then see on camera if it was, but I was, you know what, it will be so shameful for them if I do unboxing process. I just received it, so this is still gonna be labeled as unboxing, but to unveil it to you guys and show that there was a flaw. So I wanted to see first that there wasn't a flaw, get that out of the way, because that just would have been really disappointing. So let me get this out of the box. Now, in this quick review here, if certain things seem a little less detailed in the review, it is only because I already posted up the initial unboxing of this where I went over all the items in it and whatnot. So I'm not going to do that in this in terms of kind of taking too much time on certain individualized things. I'm going to really just kind of jump into, what I like about the tool, slight comparison to some other tools and whatnot, and just really kind of really deep dive into the tool and not so much about the showcasing stuff. So getting this out of the way really quick. There goes the pocket area for this right there. Is internal instead of external, like how the BIBURYs are. And the pouch is for the most part very similar to a Leatherman. I'm going to just open this up just to show. You guys can pause the video and read for yourself about the tools that are in it, because we're not going to go over those one by one in terms of like a readout or anything of that sort. And we are going to pretty much jump into the Gen R. Now, first off, I love that you have the writing on there. And if there are some things that I repeat from the previous video, don't mind. I love that you have the Gen R there, giving it that sense of a name, a title of the tool. And I kind of really like that, because a lot of these Chinese clones, if you will, of Leatherman, I'm not going to say any specific one, because at this point now they're kind of meshing between waves and charges and surges and all this other kind of stuff. But now you're getting like almost like a name to these tools rather than just simply the 12-in-1, the 19-in-1, the whatever. So here you could say the Gen R, and it is what it is. One thing that I have always been a fan with Rocktol, but always kind of bothered me at the same time, was that I hated that I had a bad experience with them always, because, and this is my fourth one now, including actually just receiving it and not counting the other one that was bad. I'm counting that one as being bad. So fourth one in my hand, finally being okay. So 1 out of 4 have been bad. I like the quality that they put on it. It feels a little bit more premium than, say, in my opinion, than say BIBURY, which I'm actually a big fan of the BIBURY tools. One of the problems though is, I'm just gonna pull out the tools while I talk. One of the problems though is the quality control has always been really bad for me. I've seen other people review on the channel and that's not the case. For me, the quality control has always been bad. So as far as just, this is supposed to be a titanium coating. Their previous one was the same way. They have a little, just so the feel of them feels nice. Unlike the BIBURY of the similar type tool, let me just bring that into play just so you guys can see, because BIBURY's closest version of this is slightly different. So here you can see this. I'm gonna put the name. The name in the link for this one also in the description, because off the top of my head, I know I'd get it wrong with the number. I think it's this is a 19-in-1, but I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head. And this one used, this kind of scales on the outside that are similar to the P, the free P line, but for Leatherman. But the thing about it is, other than that, you can see here, and a lot of the ones from them were like a little off center. That's not the case with the Rocktol. The Rocktol is actually, I'm trying to bend it now, and well, this one actually, okay, so I'm glad that I'm able to show this on screen. So the previous one that I got that had the defect, and the defect on that one was the saw was too pushed inwards. I don't know why it's like that, and then I couldn't reach it. This one is not like that. This one I could at least get my nail in there and pull it out. But that one was very tight when it came to this. Well, this one's a little off center. So once again, addressing quality control. So I'm gonna negate what I was about to say when it comes to that. Nonetheless, I will keep this one because at least, you know, that's not an issue with what I found. But as I go through the rest of this tool, hopefully I don't find any other kind of issues. I just opened up the regular straight blade knife. It's VG10. It's supposed to be a better knife quality steel. I am not a heavy multi-tool user. For me, it's more of like around the house, you know, kids' toys when you have to unscrew something, just in a pinch. So for that reason, and for me, and if you're the kind of user who would be kind of in the same vein, you know, that may not play a big role for you. But because this right now on Amazon goes for $43, it's really not that big of an increase in price versus like say the $30 or so of the BIBURY equivalent, to be having the upgrades with the better finish and a better steel. Here is the saw. The standard clone saw type, but it actually feels, you know, nothing wrong with it. It's sturdy. Nice saw if that's a tool that you use. I'm not really big on using saws. One thing I love about this configuration, because I loved it in the BIBURY as well, is scissors on the outside, big scissors on the outside, which the truth is the only equivalent Leatherman that I know of that does that is the Sidekick, or is it the Wingman? I'm having a brain fart right now in terms of which one's which, and I have the tool, so forgive me for that. I want to say that it is I think it's the Wingman. But also on the Surge, or in BIBURY's case, it would be the Pro Pliers. So having this now on a smaller size tool than the Pro Pliers, you know, a version which is a lot more bigger, I like that configuration of having large scissors, because like I said before, I'm the type who would be doing more household stuff with it. So this is great for when I'm cutting paper and things of that sort that don't require like maybe heavy duty stuff, but you know, you can just kind of get that job done without having to pull out a pair of scissors. Here you can see you've got the hook top, reverse end, and then this is the serrated blade. So that part is nice. You obviously have your belt clip and your 1/4" bit reversible driver, which is nice. And then over here, the set of tools that you get over here. Get this one piece open here. You've got a saw. So obviously this is not the tool that, if saw is your big, not saw, I'm sorry, file is your big thing, this is not the tool that you would necessarily want to buy. But if having big scissors is more important to you, this is a great tool. So you have that there. And then we have the awl, which on certain tools, they're not good, but this one's pretty good. It's sharp on the side. The tip is not super sharp, but it's pretty nice, because I've seen some that are just completely dull and really bad on some of these Chinese ones. And you got the micro screwdriver here, which is actually a lot more dimensional than the BIBURY one. I will bring that onto screen here really quickly. And let me just pull this out. It's not focusing. Let me get that in focus. Matter of fact, I'm gonna try to zoom in if this will help. I hope it does. That's actually not that bad. For some reason, I felt like I remember it not being that good, but it's really not that bad. But this is the Rocktol, and I do think it is a bit more dimensional by a little bit, but once you start getting to that size, every little bit counts, because obviously at that point you're looking at something that's very small. So anyone who's familiar with using very tiny screwdrivers, you want to make sure that it's dimensional, so that way you're not the word scraping is not the word I'm looking for. I'm having a brain fart right now, but you know, where it ends up losing its shape, it'll come to me in a moment. I'm just out of it right now. It was your flathead screwdriver. It might feel a little bit redundant. And then here goes your can opener, bottle opener, wire stripper. And obviously you have the enhanced plier heads, which has that shape. That's not your typical shape for, you know, the older type of pliers. So it's supposed to be considered stronger. At least that's what Leatherman said for their tools that have this shape. And you've got the wire cutters, the replaceable wire cutters. So nice tool. I like the more premium feel of it. It's got to get a little bit worn in so it can feel a little bit more, you know, just some of the tools in it feel a little stiff. But other than that, I really like it. I think it's worth it. I think it's definitely worth the purchase for the upgrades that you're getting, say, over the BIBURY. Though the BIBURY is also a very good buy, also because for, I think this is normally $27 or $30. Just the price alone, if you're just doing basic things, it's gonna do whatever you need it to do. I originally wasn't a fan of the scales on the outside, but after some time, it kind of grew on me just simply because I really love the tool set on this, and the black finish is kind of cool, even though it doesn't really serve a beneficial purpose, but aesthetically, it kind of just grew on me. But this feels a little bit more premium. Now, like I said, as far as its competitor would be the BIBURY, excuse me, you also have brands like SQT, which have similar layout, except SQT actually tends to be a little bit more expensive, yet doesn't really come with bonuses like extra driver bits. But I will say though that if you were to compare this, because some people start comparing it to certain Leatherman, and here I have the Wave Plus on hand, which I'm just, for the value, I've never been a fan of a lot of the Leatherman, because when I got my first Leatherman, which was the Wingman, I think I bought it on eBay, and I think I paid, this is like maybe about now, 3 years ago maybe, and I paid somewhere about like maybe $40, which was, you know, compared to what you see today, a great price. Nowadays, those things are going for $70. This was about $70 at that time. Now it goes for $120, not including the clip. You're going to spend an extra $10 or more on that. The value to me is just so completely not there. I know people will argue otherwise, and that's fine. That's their opinion. But comparing this to this, for the price that you're paying, getting a little bit more better steel in the knife, I really like this value for that reason. Regardless of anything else, just in that space, in that comparative, I really like this value. So that is definitely something that I would say makes this a plus to me when you are comparing. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I'm gonna once again stress the fact that though I like this tool, the company Rocktol, and I haven't seen anyone else say this before, but this has been my experience. 3 times I've purchased, and on the first initial unboxing of 3 times, the quality control was so bad that the tool was unacceptable and could not be used. The first time I had that same problem where the saw, it was in a different model. The saw was too indented to come out. I couldn't get my finger in there without using another tool. The second one was one of those individual where it's just like one handle size, and the scissors on it, because they had one side with a knife, one side with the scissors did not lock up. If I'm not mistaken, that was the problem with it. Then upon ordering this one, once again, the saw was too far indented where I could not pull it out without another tool or something of the sort, or I had to pull it like this side, and luckily it was loose enough that I could pull out this way, and then it came out enough that I can grab it. That to me is such a problem. Other people may not have this vibe, but they've given me such a bad taste in my mouth for that I literally had to return that tool, this previous one, and get a new one for it to be right. Like, the odds of that tells me that of all the people in the world, all the people who could have gotten the bad copy, but I got the bad copy 3 times that I've ordered. And if you don't count this one because it was a return and then got it afterwards, then you would say 3 for 3. Every single time that I ordered, I got a bad copy. Of all the people in the world, the odds of that is so slim that what it tells me is they're tossing out bad copies left and right, probably by the hundreds of their tools. And so though some people might get a decent copy, I'm sure that, a lot of the people who don't do reviews or don't have, channels where they do review products on tools are just not putting out the word because they just, they may return it. Maybe they don't really care. Maybe it's something minor to them. They get around it. But there's no way that I am the only person in the world, maybe me and we'll say 100 other people in the world has ordered this out of the thousands and thousands or maybe hundreds of thousands of people who've ordered Rocktol tools. We'll say all their tools in general. I'm sure hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people have ordered one of their tools or another. The odds of say just the very few 100 people in the world who's ordered from them that may have got a bad copy and I happen to be in that small group, I doubt it. I highly doubt it. The BIBURYs, every single one I ordered, I never had a problem with. The only time that I returned one was the time I bought this one. And the only reason why, the same model, and that was because when I saw that imbalance there, I returned to say, oh, I want it to be, a little more like, not leveled off, but for it to be correct. I'm having a brain fart right now, but you get what I'm saying. For it to be like in line and not, off beat. And then once I realized the one I got afterwards in the mail was the same way, it's like, okay, a little bit of bad quality control doesn't affect the tool as a whole. I'm still able to use the tools. It's no problem. But for Rocktol, all the issues that I had made the tool, to me, intolerable. I wasn't going to deal with it. I feel they're pumping out at least probably at the rate that I've experienced with 3 different tools, at least it's probably like 50% of them are bad quality control, which sucks because I like the premium feels that they issue with their tools, but nonetheless, that's the one thing that bothers me when it comes to the company. So what has your experience have been like? Let me know, you guys, down below in the comments. As always, you guys, like, share, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video.